Hi, everybody. Toby Milroy here again, Vice President for AMS. And today we're talking a little bit about student attendance. And as you all know, in running a martial arts school, especially an effective, successful martial arts school, one of the critical metrics, one of the critical measurements that you must be looking at on a daily basis and very frequently is student attendance. Obviously, if a student isn't taking classes, then they're not getting the benefit that they enrolled for. They're not accomplishing their goals, and it doesn't take very long before they're now dropouts, once they've stopped attending classes. So it's very important that we keep track of student attendance and that we are constantly looking for drops in student attendance when students stop attending regularly, et cetera, et cetera. And so, as you know, Atlas Martial Arts Software has a very robust attendance rating system. And Atlas is the only system in the martial arts industry that offers and supports such a wide variety of attendance taking mechanisms. We know many schools like to use attendance cards, and some like to use barcode scanners, and some like to do check-in, and some like to do kiosk, and some like to do roll call, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we support them all. So we're very proud of what we're able to do on the attendance side. So let's dig into this a little bit. Let's first take a look at what we do with our attendance now that we have it, right? And you'll see on the right-hand side of my screen over here, this is my student attendance measurements. You see I have 108 students, 108 regular students and 12 trial students. I keep those separately so I can kind of take a look at where I'm at with my trial members. And again, keep in mind, you can configure all of this. Your A, B, C, and MIA ratings are based on what you set up in the system, based on a 14-day rolling average. So, for example, I have 4 A students, 5 C students, and 99 MIAs. That's pretty bad, right? Obviously, this is test data, so you're just kind of seeing what test data looks like. But so this is where my student attendance is going to sort of appear for me, and I can very quickly identify my C students or my MIA students or my Bs or whatever I want to do, and very quickly simply click the link, get that list of students, fire them off a quick email, fire them off a text message, get them into a sequence, do what I want to do with them so that I can address their attendance behavior and try to make inroads on that. So that's kind of what we do with our student attendance once we take it. But now let's take a look at how we take it and the methodology the methods that we support. Now, like I said, we're the only application, Atlas is the only application in the martial arts industry that supports such a wide variety of attendance capturing mechanisms. So number one, let's talk about sort of the old standby, old barcode attendance cards, right? So if you have, if that's the method that you use in your school, we totally support that. You can print off the barcodes from our system, stick those barcodes right on your attendance cards, and you can scan them in with a barcode scanner at the end of the night or scan them in for each class, however you want to do that. So we fully support barcode scanner, makes it very easy. We also support, obviously, kiosk check-in, where you can set an iPad or a tablet up at the front counter, even a computer, and students can type in a few letters of their name, find themselves in a list, and check themselves in based on what style they might be assigned to, et cetera, et cetera. We also obviously support roll call attendance, where you can stand in front of the class with a tablet or a mobile device and tick off the people who you see in class and then add an attendance to them very quickly and easily. We also support fingerprint attendance, so you can use a very robust digital persona fingerprint scanner so that students can just touch their finger on the scanner and check themselves in. We also support mobile applications. We have mobile apps for your mobile devices where you can take attendance there, or you can do manual attendance entry back at your front counter at the end of the evening, however you sort of want to do that. So let's take a look at a couple of these. Obviously, barcode scanners and fingerprint readers, all that's pretty easy to understand. Let's take a look at kiosk and roll call. So if I wanted to use the roll call attendance, I can basically just come to my student list. I could be at the front of the classroom. I could be, holding an iPad in front of me, or maybe I have a laptop or a computer on the side of the room. And I can just filter by class, or I can filter by team, or by style, or by program, whatever the case might be. So let's just say for our argument's sake today, let's say that I'm in a child karate class. And I tick this. So here's my child karate list. I have these 4 students in child's karate. And I see that Sharon Brown is in class here today, and so is John Kennedy. Mary Doe and John Tripp didn't make it today. So I just tick the people that are here. I go to group actions. I say add an attendance. It says, what class are you checking them in for? And again, our attendance module supports this idea of class times so that you can check people into certain classes. This is especially useful if you have multiple training floors or if you have multiple classes happening kind of at the same time. This makes sure that each student is getting credit for the right style or the right class. So then I just hit add an attendance. And it'll take a second to pick each student and add an attendance to their record. And there you go, all set. So roll call style attendance is very easy inside of Atlas. It's very slick, and especially if you're using a mobile device in front of the classroom, it makes it pretty easy. And then obviously we also have the check-in, the kiosk ability. So this is where you can turn this computer around at your front desk, or you could have an iPad at the front counter perhaps, and then you're just going to type in, the student will come in, type in a few characters of their first name or their last name, whichever you like, and they can then check in for whichever class they're assigned to or what styles they're enrolled in. So again, this is very robust in that if you have multiple styles in your school, if you have multiple training floors, if you have multiple classes, this is highly configurable to sort of fit the way you run your school. You don't have to, run your school the way the software works. The software is going to work around you. So again, I just check in this person by just taking the check-in link, and it checks them in for class and says, hey, have a great class. So again, Atlas Martial Arts software combines the absolute best in attendance tracking and allows you the most flexible array of attendance tracking mechanisms in the martial arts industry.